Hi, it's Joe Scacciaferro, and this is On Location. All right, today I have a great friend of mine who's actually new to us. She came to us probably a few years ago. Great woman, great person, very aggressive, aggressive in a good way, really tenacious, is out there getting it done. But her background is probably one of the more interesting stories. But before I go into that, let me introduce her, Elsy Gil. Hi, Els.
Hi Joe, how are you today?
I'm
So good
doing.
to be here.
Thank you for taking the time, and thank you for sharing what's going to be a very interesting story. And just a quick background: Elsie grew up in Venezuela, and her aspirations were to go into television, which she succeeded in Venezuela. So I want to touch on first that experience because it's very different than anything any of us know from it being in the States and just normal television up here. So tell us a little bit about that, how you got in and what it was like.
Well, I went to school for journalism. Venezuelan, as you know, it has a very complicated political situation. So in my mind, going into journalism was a way for me to tell the truth, to tell what's going on, what was really happening there, and that was my dream. And then after 3 years, I specialized in TV production or visual arts because it was getting a little bit heated. So I wanted to be a little bit on the background, doing production instead of being in front of camera, instead of being right there in the heat because it was very dangerous. So I stayed in school for 2 more years. And when I finished, I started working in a TV channel, doing post production, pre production, a little bit of everything. In Venezuela, we don't have that. We don't separate everything like here. You have a junior producer and a line producer, and everything goes in different ways. In Venezuela, you do everything. You grab your camera, you go there, you shoot, you record, you come here, you write, you do everything yourself. So I did that for almost a year, and then I went to Canada to study there for a while. And then I was like, all my dreams were here, and I was able, like, just so ready to start again in Venezuela and to be able to do what I wanted to do. So I went back and started working in another TV channel, and I did a little bit of news, music, entertainment, um, doing uh, morning TV shows. Like, we work with different projects, so every project was like 6 months or 8 months or 3 months. I was I worked there for like 9 years, and then everything went down the drain with the political situation, and that's why I came here.
Ah, okay. So let's break that apart a little bit and unpack that. So your original journalism aspirations were to become an advocate for whatever side you were looking to do, and then Venezuela politically just became a little bit more dangerous than it was before, and kind of stifling some of that controversial reporting. Is that what that was?
Yeah, it was. So we have a. I don't want to get into politics that much,
Yeah, no, neither
but
do I.
yeah, but it was a dictatorship, and so I wanted to just say what was really going on. You, as a person, you're outside and you see things happening, and then you see something else in the news. And as a young woman, for me, that was like mind boggling. It was like, that's not what I want. That's not the truth. That's not what really is about. So that was my dream to say, and I wanted to go to, I don't know, different countries and report what was going on there, and like to see if that was the same if the truth wasn't real in different countries too,
I
like
got you.
as we perceive it on TV. So that was my main objective, to just tell the truth.
Okay. And when you were back on the shows themselves, you said entertainment, you said some news. So the different, but I found fascinating is that you and these are pretty substantial networks, right? These aren't just little shops, right? These are real
No,
shows.
that's like the Venezuela doesn't have that many TV networks, and these were two of the most important, the main networks in Venezuela. The first one I worked on, it was so big that the government closed the network.
Oh,
Like that important.
wow. But you were doing everything. That's the part that fascinates me. Like in the States, the people who say, "Oh, I did everything," they're tiny little place in like Nebraska. No offense, Nebraska. I don't need emails, but it's a small studio. There's 5 people working in the whole place. But you're saying even in the larger stuff, you all got to do everything.
Yeah, I would go like we will get like a list of events that were going on when I like the first job I had. So like there is a concert, there is a like a new movie release, there is a gala event or whatever. So I would just pick the event I wanted to work on that, create the script, go with the host. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Drive myself with the camera, go to the place, set the camera up, tell her what to say. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We shoot everything, we do some background images, go back to the network, cut everything, edit it. We use videotapes. Take the videotape and take it. So this is gonna be on the show next morning. Here it is, and that was like from scratch, all the steps,
That's awesome. That
everything.
that is act. I've known you now for quite a few years. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Those are a lot of various skills and it's good. I mean, it's one of the things we talk about all the time is learning to know a lot of things is important to keep you current and keep you valid. That's amazing to me. And everybody was doing that.
Yeah, it was so because of the whole issue that I told you, the
Right,
government
right.
wanted to close the network. We were so passionate about this. This is the first network that introduced color TV to Venezuela. So it's like I don't know, it's something that I as a kid looked out to. This is like it was a major thing for me. I was super proud to work there, and it was also my dream. So if I had to do this and if I had to stay there 20 hours a day, I stayed there 20 hours a day
That's
and with a
awesome.
smile from here to here. So we were all doing the same thing. We were a very small team, and every day we were losing people. So it was like, yeah, we were all more than happy to do it.
It- and your team is a team senior members? Is the team your age? Is it combination?
No, it was, we had like executive producers that were there for working for 34 years.
Oh,
And then we had other like um the producer, the main producer, and then we had like we had well we had one of each, and so each of us will handle something that was according to us, and of course they will review everything I did. They will help, like after I write the script, they will check it out to see if it was okay. So it wasn't just me doing this whatever. So it
oh, that's
was
great.
a former team.
That's great. And when you were in school, was it so you were a journalist, so there wasn't much, you didn't learn much broadcast as far as technology, production, that stuff. Was that part of your curriculum or not?
So the first 3 years was just journalism, just writing. But after that, the two extra years, I did learn. Then we as a Venezuelan were very resourceful, so I did learn a lot with only my camera, and I did have some background, and But I think everything I learned, or my foundation, I learned in that network.
Oh, that's crazy. I, I'm, I'm speechless only because that's something I'm very impressed and proud that I know somebody who could pull that all off. Uh, we kind of don't have to. We think we had it hard here, but that's what you just described is really difficult, and you've done it on your own. So now the next thing I want to move to is there down there is male and female a problem? Is there a difference? Do they hold those differently? Or represent the sexes differently for jobs?
Mm, I didn't see that. I didn't experience that. I don't believe in that even here. I know that's a big issue. But for me, I never consider less of a person for being female or less of opportunities for being a female. My dad always said, "We all come to this world naked, and everything you get from there, that's up to you." So I grew up with that, and I don't believe in like, oh, you're less or you can do less because you're a lady. No, I can lift whatever you can lift. I can do it myself. I can do whatever like any other male can do. So I don't really that never crossed my mind, and I never see that. Maybe because it wasn't in my mind, I didn't pay attention to it.
Well, obviously it didn't stop you. So if it had come across but I've known you a while, and you have a beautiful skill of softly being aggressive. Let me explain what I mean by that. Is you're very polite. You're very easy to get along with. You collaborate really well. But when you have a thing you want to get done, you'll make sure it gets done. And you don't really need anybody to assist you to get it done if it's something you want to do. And that's a positive profile. Those are big words from me because I don't really say many nice things about anybody.
I've known you for a while. I know you don't say things that are not true.
That's a better way to say that. Thank you. Um, so now, when you hit the States, what were you expecting to happen here? Where were you expecting to go, and what were you looking to achieve in the United States?
So I was when I first came here. The first thing it was to survive. It was survival mode. I came here with nothing, by myself, no family, no friends, and the first thing for me was just to find a job in whatever, just to keep going because I didn't come here with that much money. Um, when I came here, I already had almost 10 years under my belt of TV production experience, um, with a degree, with everything, and I started working just in restaurants and things like that. So for me, it wasn't. I knew what I want, and I always work for it, but I was realistic. I knew that I was not gonna get into something related to my career right away.
Did you try? Was it something you gave a shot
Oh,
at?
of course. Like whenever you tell me there is a meeting, there is a forum, there is this person that can see your resume, there is someone you can talk to. I was there. Like I hired a recruiter just to see if I could get into something. Um, I was applying for jobs every single day. I was going to, like I say, meetings, interviews. Like, I was working towards that every single day, no matter what other type of job I was doing. My goal was uh, to go back to that status that I had in Venezuela. Someone that go like in Venezuela, your parents always tell you need to go to school so you don't end up cleaning tables. That's your mindset there, all like always. So when I came here, I had to get down from there and like no, this is a job and this is what I have to do. But always that in my mind that you are not gonna be cleaning tables forever. gonna keep going forward and keep going and keep trying. And I did every type of job you can imagine, like shootings for one day, just going for free, volunteering, uh, I don't know, whatever, just to get my foot on the door. So I was really trying every single day.
Right, 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 right. I mean, I'll get to how we cross paths and what you've been doing. You came aboard Faro City in a very early age, doing the same thing you just said. Volunteering your time and your skills and your talents. And then when things got better, we were able to slightly compensate, not even greatly compensate. But that's how, I mean, for all of us, that's what the deal is. But you're contributing so much, your skill set, it was so evident to me early on that you had a lot to offer, and not just to us, but in the production world, you had a lot to offer. Unfortunately, we got caught really quickly with the pandemic and all of that, which shut our actual production on field in location work down to almost zero. Uh, but is it an aspiration still to find those positions? Is it something you would use our community to try to push your way in, to at least get noticed? Is that still an aspiration, or have you changed your trajectory or your interest or your direction?
Yeah, I think my aspiration is always keep improving and keep growing. For me, the place I am in right now, it's very like it's much better. I'm happier, and I feel I have more opportunities right now. But I don't really wanna go back to being a PA or going back to where I started. Um, I think yeah, my ideals shift a little for me right now. I wanna be more in the background. I want to work in production, but I don't want to be working 16 hours a day. And yeah, I'm like I think it shifted a little just because of I don't know age or time or
Yeah,
I
no,
think
yeah. I mean, that's true for all of us. You get to a point where, travel's not exciting to me anymore. Going on location for 3 weeks is not a big deal. I don't care how big the show is or what it is. I'd rather stay home. I'd rather work a normal hours, make what I did make and do it that way. So, oh, you know what? The other thing I wanted to mention too, because this is a big part of our audience since we're a global, is language. How hard is communicating your ideas or being able to sell yourself? Your English is beautiful, but it's not fluent yet, correct? So
yeah.
is that an issue? Is that something that has actually you come up against throughout time? I'm being very hesitant because I have to be so politically correct in today's world. If this was me and you talking, we wouldn't have to, but I have to present this differently. So is that an issue?
It is an issue for me. Like you said, my English is beautiful, and I don't see it that way. Um, it's something that I struggle with, and I've been studying for a while. This is not just me being lazy and not trying to learn. It's been complicated. I never let it stop me, but of course I get super shy. It's hard for me to talk. It's hard for me to say what I want to say. I get so all these things I told you I did, you are learning that right now because all this time I always keep that to myself. And probably it's because of my English. I prefer to show what I can do. And if you we work on location only one time,
Hmm.
and I prefer to show you what I can do than to tell you what I can do. And probably it was because of my English.
Yeah, but I mean, I grew up at first generation, and my grandparents, my parents, all my grandparents spoke no English, and my parents were bilingual. But yeah, it was difficult. That's why I'm sensitive to it, because I know how difficult it was for them to display their intelligence or their ideas or their competency, because without the language skills, you struggle for the words, and that is perceived the wrong way. And it's the same thing, you know, when I've been in Italy, I've been in other countries, and you're trying to fight for words and you're trying to move yourself along. You know, I get the look like this guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
But I understand that, so I'm highly sensitive to that. And yes, you were very shy for the longest time with us. You're tenacious, giving you a chore, you went after it, you were able to do it, and you're, like you said, you let your work show for you or speak for you. But the more we've got to know you, the more there's so much more that was there in conceptual thought, in ideas, and in not just here's a task and I'll execute it. You actually have a lot of brilliance in maybe we should do it this way. I have an idea. Let's try that. And that's been recently. That's, I would say, maybe in the last 6 months, 7 months, that we've been able to all of a sudden find a new Elsy, which has been great. The old Elsy was perfect. This new Elsy is, I'm expecting so much more from it. And so, as you said, is production still a thing for you? Or have you found another creative muse or another creative outlet that you think you might want to pursue in a different direction?
Production is so beautiful. The adrenaline you feel in the studio when you're behind the scenes and you have the clock there and everything is moving. That's something that is always gonna spark so much joy for me. I love it. But right now I've been like, I don't know, romanticizing, I guess is the word, with SEO marketing. I did go to school with for marketing too, and that's like the internet. That's where everything is moving forward, and so I've been working towards that to just use my creativity for something else.
Okay, good. Because what I wanted to hear is that when we go back to real production, that you're still going to come work with us.
Of course, I would.
Because that's that live energy. I'm addicted to it. That's what's kept me in it, from music all the way straight through to television to whatever I do.
Yeah.
I like the energy of being around people. This stuff, this flat screen interaction is not for me. But I like a bunch of people in one room and throwing ideas around. So, as of right this second, if somebody would say, "Else, here's you take your choice. Which is the exact thing you want to try?" What would that be?
I will consider so many things before saying anything.
Good.
My heart is in production, and I'm gonna be honest with you. My heart is there, but I wouldn't want to go backwards to being a PA.
I got you. I understand that. And let's talk about that, and then we kind of have to wrap this up a little bit. What would you, or how do you tutor or mentor or talk to young girls? And I'm saying girls because it's a different world than young guys, but young girls or young people coming into the industry, and especially with coming into with a different culture behind them. Give me an example of how you would tutor that or mentor that.
I would say always keep it real. Always being honest with yourself, with your skills, with what you learn. Appreciate what you know. All right, and bring your culture and that very rich background into everything you're gonna do. Don't think about female, male, and this and that. No, just go for it and do it, and talk about it. Talk about your dream and get into it. And like, I remember someone told me when I first got here, just say it every day. Say it because you don't know who's listening. So every day when someone asked me, when I was working in restaurants, who are you, or because they have this stereotype because you work in a restaurant, you that's all you do. And every day I would say I was a journalist and I was working this and I was working there and I was doing that, and this is what I'm gonna do here. So you don't know who's listening. Maybe, and that's how I found many opportunities. I found interviews that way. Maybe it wasn't something that at the end came up as something, but I went to interviews. I met people. I made friends. I found opportunities, and that's how I met you. So yeah, always talk about it. Always keep going, um, and always try. You don't know what opportunity is gonna come up.
And you did say something in that that I want to just touch on, and I know I'm timed out here, but I want to. This is a really important point. Handling rejection. Um, that seems to be part. I mean, for me, it's part of the gig. It has always been my entire life. To this point in my career, I still get overlooked for something else by somebody else. But obviously, after too many years at this, it doesn't even faze me anymore. I just know there's another opportunity right behind it. How do you handle being overlooked, and how would you recommend other people start considering that as not failure?
Yeah, at the beginning it was very heartbreaking for me because I I wanted it so much. Every day I would dream about it. So it was heartbreaking and I would get very, very sad. But then you learn from everything, even from bad interviews. You learn what not to say next time or what to do next time, or maybe I should have presented myself different. It's not always your fault that you did something wrong in an interview, but sometimes it is. So just keep going and you get this thick skin at some point.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's absolutely perfect advice. Have you ever looked at like any of the Latin Spanish stations that are all over, especially in New York? Was that ever a thing?
Yeah, it was a thing, but it wasn't. It wasn't. We go back to the same female male. I never just put myself in a box. Oh, because I speak Spanish, then this is all I'm gonna do. No, like no, I always push myself to be in different environments. So I did try many times, but it wasn't something I was looking for. Like no, this is only where I'm gonna find a job because I speak Spanish. No, that was not a thing. Wherever you call me, my head was there. So that wasn't a thing for me.
I love you. You're so great. You're an inspiration, whether you know it or not. You're an absolute inspiration, not just
Thank
to
you.
me, but to a lot of people. There's not one person who I know who knows you who has anything but positive things to say about you. So thank you for helping us out. Thank you for everything you contribute. And most importantly, thank you for being you. You're just a great person. Don't change.
Thank you. That's very
Okay,
nice
dear.
too. Thank you.
All right. Ciao. God bless. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. So good to be here. Bye.
Bye.